Hey guys, how you doing? This is Paul, and a few days ago I sent out this tweet which inspired me to make this video, my top 5 upcoming smartphones. So by far the phone I'm looking forward to most this year is the OnePlus 2, and it's going to be announced just over a week from now on July 27th, and hopefully it'll be able to live up to the hype. So it's been teased a lot, but we still don't have any confirmed leaks of what the phone's actually going to look like, but we do have some confirmed specs. It's going to have a Snapdragon 810 processor, which is the same one found in the HTC One M9. It's going to have 4GB of RAM, a fingerprint scanner, and the first phone to feature a USB Type-C charging port, which I'm really excited about. OnePlus hasn't confirmed a price yet, but they did say it was going to come in below $450, which most likely just means that it's going to be $449. But that's still a pretty good price considering all the great flagship specs that you're going to be getting. But the biggest mystery of all about this phone is the hardware, and we're all hoping that it's going to be a metal build instead of last year's plastic one on the OnePlus One, but we really don't know anything as of now. So the next phone I'm looking forward to most this year is the new Nexus, and we really don't know too much about this phone. I've always been a huge fan of the Nexus lineup, except last year's Nexus 6 was just a bit too big for me, so I'm hoping this year they'll bump back down to around 5 to 5.5 inches, and then that would be the perfect size for me. We don't even know for sure yet who's gonna manufacture it, but most rumors indicate that it's gonna be LG. And hopefully the price will come down a bit so it'll be more budget friendly than the $650 Nexus 6. And if they have to drop the resolution back down to 1080p to do this, I think it would be definitely worth it. Next up is the Moto X 2015, and we just recently received a couple of pretty convincing leaks for this phone, and I personally really like the way it looks, but a lot of people aren't too big of a fan of the sort of metal strip on the back. As for specs, it's supposed to have a 5.2-inch 1440p display, a Snapdragon 808 chipset, 4GB of RAM, and a 16-megapixel camera. And there's a Motorola event planned for July 28th, so we'll know a lot more about the phone then. My fourth pick is the Apple iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. It's kind of weird because it used to be Galaxy S6, now it's iPhone 6s. And I'm normally not a fan of the S iPhones just because they're normally only an internal upgrade and the external hardware stays the same. But we've seen some pretty cool rumors about the 6s. So yes, it's supposed to have the exact same chassis as last year, but what's interesting is that some of the mounting points for the logic board have been moved around a bit, so this could hint at a possible upgrade to 2GB of RAM, which is long overdue by now as most Android smartphones are already at 4GB. Granted, iOS doesn't require that much RAM. Also, the camera is supposed to be upgraded from 8 megapixels to 12 megapixels, so that's a pretty big upgrade, and Force Touch might be integrated, and it would be interesting to see how the iPhone could take advantage of that. Finally, my last pick is the HTC Hero, and you probably haven't heard of this one. So we all know that the HTC One M9 was a bit of a disappointment this year, but HTC announced that they would be releasing a Hero product in October. Back in 2009, HTC released a phone called the HTC Hero, and it was an amazing phone. It was the first smartphone I ever used, and I loved it. But right now we don't know if this is gonna be a flagship phone or a budget phone. We don't even really know if it's gonna be a phone at all, but nonetheless, I'm really excited to see how this turns out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Those are my top 5 smartphones that I'm looking forward to most. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for some more content coming soon. Thanks.